Welcome! The video you're about to see is a time-lapse of me brewing my Grapefruit IPA, but I feel a little casual to be an omniscient narrator, so hold on. Welcome. Today I would like to share my journey through the trials and tribulations of brewing my Grapefruit IPA. Enjoy! For the Grapefruit IPA, we're going to need 10 pounds 2-row, 1 pound Munich, 8 ounces caramel 60, and 8 ounces of white wheat. And we're going to do a pretty small mill setting since we're doing brew in a bag today. Well, brew in a screen, but same difference. So just adjusting it, and the longest part of this whole process is actually milling it since it's such a fine setting. So after this, we're going to just let it hang out. I use reverse osmosis water. So I'm in Los Angeles, so the water is pretty bad here. There's a lot of chlorine and chloramine in it, which is hard to get out, but everyone says use potassium metasulfite or whatever, and I don't trust it, so I just run down to the store and grab some reverse osmosis water. I might get a system eventually, but don't want to be in LA forever, so who knows. For our water additions, I do 3 grams each Epsom gypsum calcium chloride for this because the water is so empty of everything. I'm checking temperature constantly, but I have realized during this brew session that all of my thermometers are broken. Even my classic glass one is about 18 degrees too low somehow. My shocked face is me realizing that my ice water is apparently 120 degrees, so that's fun. On the claw hammer controller, you can set your temperature higher or lower than it might actually read with a temperature probe. It typically reads a little bit lower just because it's in a thermal well. I adjust it every time I use it. I don't take any chances. So for hops today, we're using 0.5 ounces Galaxy at 60 minutes, 1 ounce Citra at 10 minutes, 1 ounce Columbus at 10 minutes, and 1 ounce Cashmere in a hop stand at 194 degrees at 10 minutes. For grapefruit, we need 5 ounces of grapefruit peel. You actually have to grate it or the flavor doesn't come through. The finer you grate it, the better the taste is in the end. I just use a cheese grater because zesting it is kind of insane. I use 30 ounces of grapefruit juice. You can get about 30 ounces of grapefruit juice in the same amount of grapefruits that you get the 5 ounces of peel from. When I originally made this recipe, that's just what happened, so I just kept it that way, and it's always worked out. My strike rotor was around 159 to get a mash temp of 152. So I'm checking my mash for gravity. I'm getting ready to do my sparge. I don't think you actually need to do it with the claw hammer system, considering you can drain all the liquid out of it for the most part, but old habits die hard. So basically to do my sparge, I just heat up some water to about 170, put my hose into it, and then let it drain through the top. In the corner, you can see me set up my chiller for the eventual end of the boil. I put my screen back into the kettle when I use whole hops because I don't feel like my spider is quite large enough. The only problem doing this is you can have boilovers from the sides, and I've definitely lost like a gallon of wort before. When you use the screen to add hops to the boil, one of the problems is that the screen is so fine that the wort actually has problems going through it, so you kind of have to caress it into leaving the screen or it'll sit there forever. So I just kind of make a whirlpool in it, and it shears a lot of the liquid out of it. I run my chilled wort back into the kettle so that I'm sure it gets as cold as I need it. I've run directly into the fermenter before and it was way too hot. When I transfer, I hold the line high above the fermenter so that it will aerate of the wort. When I transfer, I do it at about 80 degrees. Our groundwater is around 70 here, especially in the summer, so I don't even try to get it down that far. But since I added some cold grapefruit juice, it actually dropped me down pretty easily, so I just went ahead and pitched it. Thank you for joining me. Once this baby is fermented, we'll dry hop it with 1 ounce of Cascade and 1 ounce of Citra for around a week. If anyone can think of a name for this guy, I'm looking for suggestions. Unfortunately, the best possible name, Grapefruits of Wrath, has already been taken. If this turns out well, I'll be taking it to the Salt Dog Classic in Encinitas on October 20th. So come out. I think the standard YouTube line is like and subscribe, so do it. See you next time.